Okay, Amy, can you hear me? Oh, no. Okay, this is why. Here we go. Okay, Amy, if you can hear me, you just got a notice. I invited you as a co-host. Okay, yay. Okay, now
Good.
unmute yourself. Okay, okay. 8 o'clock. We're here.
It's asking to use do I just hit don't allow for or I can hit allow and then just shut it off.
Yeah, you're not, you weren't.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, so our first conscious conversation, just a little bit of background for people. Amy Woodall and I, dear friends, have worked together in a lot of fun endeavors. Used to get up at, oh, I don't know, oh, dark 4:30 a.m. to
Yeah.
collaborate. And then over the years have just, not only has she been a personal coach to me, but a dear friend, but we've done lots of these conversations, whether they were live roundtables with leaders that got to interact and meet each other. We had a lot of fun with that. We met a lot of great people that we still work with today. And then if you all remember Clubhouse, we really liked that app. And the thing we loved about it was like, we don't have to be makeup ready. Like we can come and look like complete, or be on a walk or whatever. And we're like, ooh, how do we do that in here? So that's what we're doing. Cause some of you might be on PST. If you're early birds, it's 5 a.m. Others of you, it's 8 a.m. and you might be like Amy and I and still getting ready and you can be on a walk or whatever. So we're excited for this audio only chit chat in the morning, hopefully to start your day in a great, grounded, positive place. Amy, tell us about your thoughts about what we're doing.
Well, it is fun to get back to doing this. I think we were on that Clubhouse roll for a little while. I don't even know if that app is still around. Is that like nixed? Is it
Yeah,
gone?
it's like totally gone. But there's
Okay.
a lot of great learnings from it. Did you know it was the fastest adopted app in all of history? Like,
Really?
still
Interesting.
today, it's the fastest adopted app in all of history. And because of our limited time, I'm not going to tell you what we learned about why it failed, but there was a lot of goodness to it. So we're going to kind of recreate it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think these hopefully we'll have some people who maybe find this as their Tuesday morning routine, to start to pop in and just talk about all the different ways that we can live and lead consciously in our lives.
I love it. Okay, so here we go. Here's the first one, and can't believe the tech worked and everything. We kicked right off at 8 o'clock. So, so here's the other side of that. When things don't go as planned, we
Mhm.
could still be fumbling right here, and how we handle those times is really a reflection of the work we've done on ourselves. I think, and so we all have them every single day. Sometimes bigger than others. It's like, oh, the big move to the new city didn't work out when we had planned, for months. It had been a dream, but it didn't work out. Or you got a flat tire on the way to that important appointment, or
Mhm.
the new hire leader that you really needed. And you spent so much time prepping and interviewing. The interview time wasn't authentically who they were. They didn't work out. It was a disaster for your culture, right? Like whatever it is, when things don't work out, that's our topic we're going to talk about today. Amy, I know you picked this one, so
I
tell us
did.
why.
Well, I think it's like oftentimes it's the minor things, right? Like it is the minor inconveniences, the minor, like they got my coffee order wrong, or this route I was taking is shut down, or, little things that we had planned can be thrown off. And I think we learn a lot about ourselves when we are forced out of what felt like it was comfortable. So whether it is the big or small things, I think there's a lot to learn about ourselves, but I think the small things are often overlooked. I think the big things, if we are just like if we're somebody who really gives a damn about growth and we're a curious person, I think we're more likely to learn from the big things. But the little everyday things there's so much, insight about ourselves that we can take from that. And I don't know about you, but I am the best version of myself when everything is going according to my plan.
Oh, me too. Oh my goodness. Yes. When the roller coaster's at the top. Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I'm so easy to get along with, and I am just like a bowl of peaches when everything is going my way. But I think this is a great reflection. Who do you become when things don't go the way that you want them to?
Mhm.
So, Nikki, I'm curious, like in your own reflection, what are some of those things that just kind of push your buttons? Like when they're not right, not aligned, something goes wrong. What are some of those things that can rock you if you're not being conscious?
Oh yeah. So I feel like I've come a long way with this because I would just lose my shit. Like anyone that was around me, they'd be like, "Oh,
Did I
get
lose you?
me away from her," and that's my old self. I still definitely have glimpses of that. But I think the thing that has shifted so much is the mindset that I take around it. But, the examples that I gave are kind of examples in my life. The particular move didn't work out, and that could be, not necessarily a physical house move. It could be a move with a client. We have this big new endeavor. It's so exciting. We've been talking about it, and it didn't work out. And when I look back at any of those really big things, I'm like, oh, thank God for those unanswered prayers.
Mm.
Because you see it in hindsight and you realize why it didn't. But at the time, when you can't embrace it consciously and being present in the moment, you lose your shit, right? Or I did used to be, I've never been I'm going to get there very early and sit in the parking lot and be way ahead on time. That is just not who I am. My husband is more of that way. I'm more of we're pulling in at 2 minutes because I looked at every route and I'm not wasting any time. But then when that plan doesn't go as planned and then it's traffic, but my app didn't tell me there was traffic, I'm losing my mind. That's my old self. And now it's like the mindset is, wow, did God save me from an accident? Did I need extra time in my mind to prep? I was rushing, and that time in traffic, if embraced, helped me to get centered, and so that's a little bit of mine. How about you?
I mean, I think by nature I can be an impatient person. Like, and you know what? The universe gives me lots of ways to practice that. Just on Sunday, on Mother's Day, I we had a golf tee time for the four of us, and when I tell you we had the world's slowest humans in front of us, they would like hit the ball, it would go 4 feet, and they would like walk to it and hit it again. And I think each person hit their ball 22 times. And that's when I'm like, Jason, you drive up to those people. We need to share with them that these are not the rules of the golf course. And my husband is really a good teacher for me for my take a breath and be patient. He's like, they're just getting their money's worth. I'm like,
Oh,
okay. That's
I
one
love
way to
that
look at it.
perspective.
Meanwhile, it took us 3 hours to play 9 holes. But anyways, I think so for me it is the times where I have to enact patience that I really get a chance to reflect on and the question I ask myself is like, who am I being in this moment?
Mhm.
Am I being the human I want to desire? There's a quote from Eckhart Tolle. This is not the exact quote, but it really has stuck with me over the years, which is if small things have power over you, then that's exactly what you become, small.
Mm.
And to me, almost everything is small things.
Mhm.
If it's not life or death, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, small. And so I think that's a helpful reflection I give to myself is like, am I being a big human right now or am I being a very petty little small human? And
Mhm.
I will find myself in the petty. And I think, the goal of this conversation isn't for us to be like, you should be a person who's never upset. You should be a person who never gets rattled. I don't think that's the case because we are humans and we're going to
Yeah.
have reactions. But I think, can we readjust? Can we notice And can we readjust quickly?
Mm-hmm.
And that is a sign of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. So good. So I think we'll break this down into our mindset, the way we think about things not going as planned and our
Mhm.
beliefs around it, right? That's a huge piece. And then the other is our personal practices for when things do, how do we show up? Because, working backwards from my old self and losing my shit, I would spend so much time beating myself up for how I reacted in those 5 minutes, even just the stress, like my cortisol spikes or whatever the heck happens in your body. When you do that, it's just not healthy and you just don't feel good. Or how I, in my impatient moment, blurted out something that I didn't want to say. That's not me. I don't want to be that. And, Amy, you have this amazing retreat experience that's called High Vibe Tribe. And I've been able to go on that multiple times. Love it so much. It's an annual retreat for those of you that need, well, let's not even say need. It is a wonderful priority to spend time with others that are working on themselves deeply in a beautiful place and just learn about yourself, deep reflection stuff. And the last retreat last year, I came away with, I believe all humans are on a journey for inner peace. And you're building your toolbox to stay in that centered place and feel that inner peace. And that's such a big thing. It can be small efforts, big efforts, but this is kind of what I'm talking about, is learning the mindset around traffic happened and it's okay,
Mhm.
or whatever, right? It just brings me inner peace because I don't want to be that person that is all flustered, loses, and says things I don't want to say.
Mhm.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that what you're sharing is like it everything starts with awareness. Just like this consciousness starts with awareness. Like who am I being right now? What story am I telling myself right now? And I think this deeper recognition that like we make up these stories in our mind, that things are so much bigger or more important or disastrous, but a lot of times those stories are from the ego. I mean, we all have ego. My ego personally loves to control. Some people's ego loves to perfect, like things need to be perfect. Our ego shows up in different ways. And so our ego can project a bigger story on whatever it is that we're experiencing. And I think about the example, I share this a lot. When Cy Wakeman was on the Conscious Habit podcast, she shared this example that I think we've all experienced, where she's like, this one time I was in traffic and some, male chauvinistic pig who hates women because of his bumper stickers, I could clearly tell, cuts me off because he thinks he's the only human that matters and almost knocks my bumper off my car. And like she's going on this tirade, right? We've all probably been there at some point in time. Like we're kind of bitching about what experience we had. She said, but when I take all of the extra, like my own emotional baggage out of it, what happened was someone got in front of me and left less room than I desired between their car and mine. And when we do that, there's actually no problem to solve. So
Mm.
I think that's such a helpful reflection of like we've got to have the awareness first of like who am I being, or I am disrupted, or I feel uncomfortable, or I'm in a moment of temporary suffering. We have to recognize that and then ask ourselves, what story am I believing to be true right now? Because when we whittle away the story, we might find that there's actually nothing to solve except take a breath. That's
Yes,
literally the only thing that we can control in that moment.
totally. Yes. So in this mindset as like a building block to help us in the future, right? And how we embrace when things don't go as planned, big or small. Okay, I'll apply Mel Robbins. Just went and saw Mel Robbins live. She has this hit book that has gone bananas. People are tattooing their bodies with
Mm,
this saying of let them. That could be a mindset of, like you talked about the traffic and the guy, whatever, just let them, right? We're not
mhm,
trying to control them. That's a way of mindset or belief. Another is I'm being guided. So traffic happened and I am being guided by my higher power to help me stay safe. That's another belief.
mhm.
Another one could be, this is one that I've been applying this year with my word manifest. That's been a main practice for me, is everything is working out for me. everything is working out for me. I write it down, I say it, I chant it. My husband does. It's just this, everything is working out for me. And I don't know what's happening, but it works. It's really
Yeah.
great. And then another example is, like you said, this is really not a big deal. Like this, in the grand scheme of things, it's just not a
Hmm.
big deal. So I
Hmm.
think from, one way to help us through this journey, because like you said, we are all going to still go through the things. We're going to lose our shit, all that stuff. But how do we do it less? How do we be the person that we want to be in those moments? Let them, I'm being guided. Everything is working out for me. This is just really not that big a deal. Whatever that
Hmm.
is, figuring yours out.
Hmm. I think it's like, I think it's good to have kind of like dual practices. What do I do in the moment? Right. Which
Mhm.
I love that, like reframing. Let them as a reframe.
Yes.
Everything's working out for me as a reframe. Like where if we can choose to be upset, we can also choose to be gracious. Like both are a choice. The thing is, we are hardwired for one thing, but we don't have to be at the mercy of our hardwiring. That is why consciousness is so important, because the subconscious and unconscious mind and body are going to have its reactions. But if we notice, we can take a conscious pause and choose a more thoughtful response. So
Yeah.
creating a gap between the reaction and the response allows us to get out of that, stuck in the shit that we might have put ourselves in,
Yeah.
and then be able to reframe. So I think having those practices in the moment are helpful, but then also knowing, like, I find that the more small things have power over me, like the sound of my husband chewing makes me want to hug his face with a pillow while he sleeps. But that to me is a sign that my body is stressed. My mind might not know I'm stressed. And I think for a lot of us, like, we often go to the mind to be like, am I stressed out? And I'm sure people, if you've ever listened to the podcast, I say this, like, the mind is a little bitch, I say lovingly, but it can find evidence in whatever direction we tell it to, which is why reframing is so powerful, right? But so my body though may be really stressed, and I could be in fight or flight. And so smaller things will have more power over me because I don't have the resilience built up in order to handle those things. And so if you find yourself where, like, just everything feels like it's going wrong, or like small things feel like you're really snapping, that is a sign that you need to take some time. You need to meditate, go for a walk, breathe, pray, spend time with people you love. Nikki, you do such a great job of, really practicing the life wheel. It's a sign that your demands have far exceeded your, paced your supply.
Hmm.
And so having a good, just, supply daily ritual that you do of what are you doing to pour into yourself so you can pour into your day is important, so that we're giving ourselves a fighting chance of being able to be the best version of us.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so good. You just teed this up perfectly. The tactical practice that helps ground yourself.
Hmm.
That when you don't do it, you totally notice a difference, and you are much more apt to forget the whole "let them" or "everything's working out." It's just not even in your mind because you didn't do this tactical practice. I'll share mine, and then Amy, tell us yours. My morning routine time, like, I don't know. The other day, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, she had something from another friend that was in town, and I needed to go pick it up. And I was trying to figure out what morning to go pick it up or whatever. And she's like 15 minutes away, no big deal. And I had said, hey, it was like last Wednesday, can I stop by and pick it up? And she said, I have to leave for work at 8:15. I said, oh, perfect. How about I'll come by about 7:30? She gives me the laughing emoji. She's like, girl, I don't wake up till 7:45. And I was like, oh, like I could feel my blood pressure rising. I was like, oh, I don't even know, but let them, right? Let her. I know the feeling if I don't have ample time to set my day, I don't care. And my husband's like this too, David. He's much longer with his morning routine, but we have to plan ample time in the morning to get ourselves set, like prayer, meditation, life wheel, confirming our calendar, just being still and in the quiet. That morning
Mhm.
routine time is a make or break for how I show up during the day. What's yours?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, for me, I like a slow morning. I like to be able to have my coffee. I do have this, I like to play like the Wordle in the morning. I need my time to meditate. So I prefer for me to get up earlier so that I can have a slower morning. Moving my body early on, it feels like I accomplished something that I didn't want to do, because there's never a morning where like I'm feeling like I cannot wait to work out. No, I hate it
Yeah.
every time. I love it when it's done, but
Same.
I think that like proves to me that I can do things that I don't feel like doing, because feelings are temporary, right? So, and new actions can help shift that emotion or that feeling that I'm having.
Yeah.
Journaling, I mean, I think there's times where my morning routine might change based on the state that I'm in. My meditation might need to be chakra clearing. Maybe it needs to be breath work. Maybe I just need to sit and listen to the birds chirp. Maybe my meditation is actually a journaling time. Like, so for me, it flows based on what I'm doing. And I think for people who may listen to this, like, there is no one right thing. It isn't like you have to meditate every morning or else. I think
Mhm.
you've got to play and practice with what works for you. And some people aren't morning people. So
Yeah.
maybe for them, maybe it's not in the morning. Maybe it is setting themselves up for success at night so that they can sleep really well and they wake up clear and refreshed the next day. Like, I don't think it has to be a certain time of day. You and I just happen to
Yeah.
be ridiculously early morning people.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're the human I can text at 5 a.m. and you will probably either already be up or not long after, right? So,
Yeah. Yes,
um,
right. And I think to your point, it's so good to remind that, sometimes there's so much glory around the 5 a.m. club or whatever. And it's
uh-huh.
like, hey, just whatever yours is. There's someone on my team that's newer, Rob. He is a night owl. I don't understand it, but I'm like, you go. Like, cool.
Yeah.
He's cranking out stuff at 11 p.m. I can't even think after 5 very well. Like, my creative brain does not work, but you figure out your circadian rhythm and your jam. So it could be that I'm making this up right now. Rob does his routine at night to prep for the next day, so that when I was judging my friend about picking up at 7:40, or she's like, "Girl, I don't wake up till 7:45." She may at 11 p.m. already prepped all of her day so that she can, because she's not a morning person, get up at that time. Whatever yours is, just know your conscious habits, your practices, so that you know what to apply to keep yourself in that grounded place.
Mhm. Yeah, I love
So,
I think Marie Helen Peltier is her name. She was on the podcast. She wrote the book called The Resilience Plan.
mhm.
And I think that like we all need to have our plan for resilience, because life is going to life. There are a lot of demands around us. Every role that you have is going to have a demand. And it's not, listen, if you find yourself getting in a tizzy, you find yourself overwhelmed, you find yourself really tired or frustrated, it is not because you're weak. It is because you're human and you cannot outpace your humanness. Like, your humanity is going to catch up with you. And so we just need to honor that humanity. And again, we're human beings. I say this because I know this is not the first time anybody's heard it. We are human beings, not human doings. We glorify the doing so much. And then we feel like we have to justify the being, to be like, oh, because we think it's lazy. That's definitely a societal thing for us here in the US. Like, we have an expectation of ourselves that is so much higher than many other countries in the world. And I think just have your being plan handy. And if there's any negative story that comes with that, like I shouldn't need, da, 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 just know that that's egoic bullshit. That's not real.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that, a few other things, practices, like I really have to be careful what I consume, not just food wise, that is true. Because if I have gluten, guaranteed I'm going to be an anxious mess. Like, my body does not like it. But I have to be careful, like media that I consume and what am I listening to in the morning. And I think those pieces of adding that in, of like, am I listening to an uplifting podcast or am I listening to the hellfire that is, like our US political divisiveness? Like, what am I putting into my brain, because that's going to change my state. So
Yeah.
I think just being protective over that, the people we hang around with, the things that we're watching or listening to, and then those practices daily. I think that makes such a big difference in how we're able to see and dance with the world, and especially when it's not going according to our plan.
Totally. Well, this has been so good. Kicked off with this topic that all of us have either struggled with or are struggling with or will struggle with when things don't go as planned, and building our toolbox so that we can stay centered in who we want to be, that inner peace that no matter what happens, cut off in traffic or the big thing doesn't work out, it's all working out for us, and figuring out, how we handle that to be the person we want to be, and to enjoy our days. So with that, hopefully you get to take some tips and go apply them. And this is going to be a weekly endeavor, audio only, for as far as we can see right now, because it's looking a little rainy here. Otherwise I was going to be out on a walk. So maybe out on a walk or getting ready for the day or driving or whatever you're doing. No matter what, you can start your day with us every Tuesday, and we'd love to hear your topics. So throw them out
Yeah.
in the community, throw it out to Amy direct or myself, and let's figure out how we make more conscious, wonderful habits, and, continue to grow and build, have a great life. So with that, Amy, any closing thoughts?
No, thanks for everybody who joined, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to keep these conversations going every Tuesday.
Same. All right, everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.